1 week till spring practice starts. That's next Monday, but all week long here at Volquest, Hubs and I are going to get you set for spring practice. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to break down the top newcomers we want to see, the top veterans who need to have a big spring, and the top 3 position battles this spring for the Vols. We'll start today with top newcomers. Who do you want to see either early enrollee, which there's a bunch,
right,
or transfers? There's also a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a laundry list of guys that jumps out there that you want to see. I'm going to stay away from the obvious, right, and Nico and some of those guys, okay? I want to see Ricky Gibson, because I think Ricky Gibson has got a chance to be a bigger impact as a defensive back early on than maybe a lot of other people think, because it's been about Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews is a good player. So the first one I'm going with is Ricky Gibson for me. I want to see what Ricky Gibson looks like this spring. John Slaughter, because he made some noise in camp. I want to see what that noise is really about there. So that one jumps out at me. And then I will go with, from there, I think maybe Andre Couric. You know, because I think John Campbell's going to play. I think they brought him into play. Where does Couric fit, and what do they do at that guard spot? I think that's an interesting position battle, and where does he factor into that? A guy who played some at Texas 2 years ago, a lot more 2 years ago than he did last year.
Yeah, can he factor in at that guard spot? And, you know, if they need to flex him out to tackle, can he be serviceable there? Obviously, he's played some tackle, but, you know, you need more than just a warm body. What can he give you from a versatility standpoint? I don't disagree with you. Especially, I'm interested to see if Campbell's going to play left, which is, by all accounts, he's going to. That means the other guys are going to have to flip to a side they're not used to playing. Right. So, like, there's going to be some interesting dynamics there. I don't think it's just a given Gerald Mincy and J.J. Crawford are rolling to the right and going, okay, I'm ready. Right. You know, I mean, they're used to playing that left side, and you'd like to see them cross-train more.
Yeah, and do they move Campbell and work him on the right side at all? I mean, you know, those are some guys there. For you, who are you looking to see?
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ariana Carter. You know, when we get to see just a little bit of bowl practice, he hadn't been cleared yet. And so, from all accounts, and talking to Keenan Peely when we take Ball Club Confidential the other day, he was really raving about how athletic he is, how smart he is. I'm really excited to see Ariana Carter. I'm excited to see Caleb Herring as well because of the weight. He comes in at 206. He's now almost 230. That's a big difference in just a couple of matter of months. He goes from all of a sudden just kind of feeling his way through it to, if he can mentally pick it up, they will count on him to play. You know, so I will go him. And then for me, I really want to see what Nathan Laycock can do. I'm not sure he's going to play a ton just because they don't play a ton of receivers, but I really want to see him, right? He and Dante Thornton, you know, and so Thornton going to go through spring, been battling a little bit of a hamstring, so don't know how much he'll be able to go. Maybe he'll be able to go all of spring. Either way, Laycock's healthy heading into spring. I'm interested to see the North Carolina product.
Yeah, and you start looking at that receiver depth chart. I mean, there's not a ton there. I mean, you look at it, Brew McCoy, who's not going to go through spring, he's going to play. Ramel Keaton just doesn't go away. He just, every opportunity he gets, he plays. Then you got Dante Thornton. You say, okay, those are your 3. Squirrel's 4. Then where do you go, right? Is it, can Laycock get in there and really push Caleb Webb? Can he push Chaz Nimrod? There's a big opportunity there for receivers, and Laycock being one of those, even though he's a newcomer, and that's a position where they, quote, don't play a lot of guys.
Don't play a lot of guys just because of the tempo, you know. Right. And so, you know, you almost have to force your way into playing time if you're one of those players. It's a big spring for all those receivers, especially Thornton, too. I mean, I know I'm excited to see Laycock, but Thornton is drawing a ton of praise just for his off-the-field work. What can he do? Brew went from USC doing a little bit to having a really nice first year here at Tennessee. Can Thornton do the same coming from Oregon?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, is he going to have the impact like a Brew McCoy, or is his impact going to be more like what we saw with Javonte Payton, which was more limited in his transfer here? Payton had an impact, but it wasn't the Brew McCoy impact in year 1 when he arrived. So what does that look like? Be fascinating to see this spring.
You named your 3, I named my 3.
And about 6 more.
But we stayed away from Nico, which is, you know, everybody's excited to see him. But I think we all expect Joe to be the guy at least early on, and then we'll see if Joe can keep the job.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's plenty of excitement over a quarterback, but stayed away from that because some guys who they have, I mean, I want to see Jordan Matthews. I mean, there's a bunch of guys you want to see. Some guys that maybe hasn't generated a ton of buzz that people aren't talking about. How do they fit in once they get settled in here? You mentioned Herring. That extra weight's great. Does that affect him, his bend, his flexibility, his quickness in any way? I don't think so. He could dramatically change things, as you mentioned, with that weight. It's going to be a fun spring. Very different than the last 2, for sure.
That's a look at the newcomers we're excited to see. Who are you excited to see? Let's hear about it on the General's Quarters.